Welcome back to a daily dose of good news. We may be recording the account of things that happened 2,000 years ago, but I just love the fact that I can relate so well to those involved. Today, as with yesterday, I slip comfortably into the shoes of the apostles. When the apostles returned, they reported to Jesus what they had done. Then he took them with him, and they withdrew by themselves to a town called Bethsaida. But the crowds learnt about it and followed him. He welcomed them and spoke to them about the kingdom of God, and healed those who needed healing. Late in the afternoon, the 12 came to him and said, "Send the crowd away, so they can go to the surrounding villages and countryside and find food and lodging, because we are in a remote place here." He replied, "You give them something to eat." They answered, "We have only 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish, unless we go and buy food for all this crowd." About 5,000 men were there. But he said to his disciples, "Make them sit down in groups of about 50 each." The disciples did so, and everybody sat down. Taking the 5 loaves and the 2 fish, and looking up to heaven, he gave thanks and broke them. Then he gave them to the disciples to set before the people. They all ate and were satisfied, and the disciples picked up 12 basketfuls of broken pieces that were left over. If you have any background in church or Sunday school, I'm sure this story will be recognizable to you. The boy with 5 loaves and 2 fishes, Jesus feeding the 5,000. But it is what is going on with the disciples that I find fascinating today. A quick reminder, they've just been sent out in pairs by Jesus to do what he has been doing. So off they went, preaching about this kingdom of God and healing sick people. What stories they would have had to tell on their return. What excitement to share with one another in Jesus. So Jesus takes them to a town where they can just hang and chat. Would you know it? Crowds turn up. So much for the debrief. Then when time is getting on in the day, the disciples see another opportunity to get Jesus on their own. Everyone's getting hungry. If you send the crowds away to get food, then we can have that time to ourselves, Jesus. But no. Jesus had to go and miraculously provide a meal for everyone. While Jesus was keen to hear from his disciples, after all they did withdraw in the first place, his compassion for the crowds shone through. The disciples were learning that sharing the news of the kingdom of God with those who are hungry for it was more important to Jesus than swapping tales of the miraculous. See you tomorrow.